Hi everyone, Fenris Models here, and today we'll be taking a look at my build of the Easy Assembly D.520 from HobbyBoss in 1/72nd scale. Now, there's no unboxing for this kit, as you can plainly see all of the contents of the box, including the instructions on the screen now. There's one sprue, one clear sprue, a small wire rod, and two pieces off the sprue. As HobbyBoss tends to do with their Easy Assembly kits, the instructions were on the back of the box. I removed the instructions from the box, and then each piece was removed with a pair of side cutters, and any excess plastic was cleaned with a fresh hobby blade. Assembly itself was quite simple. Since the cockpit was low detail molding in the upper fuselage piece, I could go ahead and install everything before painting it. The fuselage halves were attached, then the horizontal stabilizers, followed by the landing gear covers, the back landing gear, the bottom antenna, and then finally the propeller assembly. Once everything was assembled, I could do the cockpit. I had a bit of a hard time finding the right or close enough color for this one, but a bunch of places I saw said a midnight blue was close enough, so I went ahead and used Vallejo Game Color 72.019 Night Blue for it. This was then given a dry brushing of Model Air Light Gold Gray 71.121 to lighten it up and add a bit of weathering. Once happy with the color, I installed the canopy and masked it with some Tamiya masking tape. Using a toothpick, I highlighted the edges of the canopy frame, and a sharp hobby blade was then used to cut along this line. I was careful not to go too deep and score the plastic below. Model Color Black 70.950 was sprayed over the panel lines to provide some pre-shading. I wasn't super clean with my lines here, so as to add a little visual interest to the panels once the main colors were applied. The bottom of the plane was given a coat of Model Air USAF Medium Gray 71.275. It's a little darker than I think it should be, and that's something you're going to see with most of the colors on this kit. Generally speaking, I find Vallejo's paints to be spot on, but their Battle of France and Vichy Air Force set, the one that I'm using for this kit, I don't think it was all that accurate. Take this Gris Bleu Francais for example. It's simply gray 71.047. Like, the paint bottle just says gray. Still, it's what I went with since I had no better option. And in fairness, if there was any Air Force in World War II that didn't exactly follow standardized colors on their military vehicles, it was the French. So close enough is good enough, I guess. The camo was then applied free-handed, starting with the brown portions. The included Camo Pale Brown 71.035 was used here. I did try to roughly follow the pattern showing on the box, but since it already wasn't going to be the exact colors it needed to be, I didn't let the patterning bother me all that much. For the green, I initially used the included NATO Green 71.093. This green, however, it was too brownish to me, and it kept seeming to fade into the brown. It wasn't really distinct enough in my opinion. So I went over it with the other included green, US Olive Drab 71.043. I'm not sure how Olive Drab was more green and less brown than NATO Green, but so it was. And then for the detail painting, the same black from before was used to pick out the prop blades as well as the small wheel in the back. Model color gunmetal gray 70.863 was used on the exhausts. The paint was allowed to dry, and then the entire kit was given a coat of Mr. Super Clear gloss from the rattle can in preparation for decals. Gloss coats not only protect your previous paint job from any interaction with the decal solutions, but the gloss also helps to eliminate the chance of silvering by removing any micro abrasions in the paint surface that can trap any air. In total, there were 16 decals for the scheme I chose. Oh, right, I forgot to mention earlier. The kit did come with two schemes, a French Air Force one and a Vichy Air Force one. I decided to go with the French. The decals went on without any issue, save one which I'll get to in a second. A quick soak in room temp water was all that was needed to allow the decal to slip from the backing paper and onto the model. I did have one of the roundels split on me, as you can see here. However, it was no problem to arrange them back in place. Once the setting solution and panel liner were applied, you couldn't even tell the difference. Speaking of setting solution, all of the decals received a coat of microsol to help them conform to the contours of the kit. Once in place, a sharp hobby blade was used to score the decals along any panel lines they may be sitting over. Tamiya panel liner accent color black was then used to bring out the panel lines. This product is quite easy to use. Simply touch the applicator brush to a panel line and capillary action will draw the fluid along the panel line. Applying a gloss coat earlier also aids in this step of the process, making it even easier for the fluid to run along each line. Some pinpricks of the wash will remain on the body of the plane, and a cotton swab damp but not wet with Artist White Spirits does the trick in cleaning these up. When cleaning these, I will always wipe in the direction of either airflow or gravity depending on what makes sense for the surface. Any residual wash left behind will then add a light weathering to the kit that I quite like. The plane then received a coat of Tester's Dull Coat from a rattle can. Once that dried, I could remove the masking tape from the canopy. We can call this one good. And there we go. The D.520 from HobbyBoss in 1/72nd scale. And despite the discrepancies in color, I'm quite happy with this build. It's my first French aircraft of any kind, and it was quite fun to do. I will admit though, it does kind of hurt my brain to look at for too long. Not because of the colors, but the silhouette just isn't right. My brain wants to either parse it as a Spitfire or a Mustang. A Spitstang, if you will? A Mustfire? Anyway. Regardless, it built up quite nice, I think. And hey, what more can I ask for French February? Okay, this is probably the only French plane I'll be doing this February. But if you want to catch more, make sure to pop over to friends of the channel, Miss Modeller and Captain VFC, to check out their French February entries. Thank you to my gift set tiered patron Calibear and to all of my starter set patrons. Your support means the world to me. And thank you for watching. If you want to see more of my content, make sure to like and subscribe and do the thing with the bell and, you know, all that YouTube nonsense you know we all like you to do. If you want to watch more now, however, how about one of these two videos here? Either way, I hope you enjoyed this video and stay safe, keep modeling.